Hello, guys. I want to start by telling a little story. So, when I met Iancu, we had this, get to know each other talks, and we started talking about food. And I told him that, oh, I'm pretty peculiar when it comes to food. Like, there are certain things I don't eat. And it was a lot, the list was very long, but on the top, there was like tomatoes. I just could not eat tomatoes. So he made sure, like for the first dinners that we had with family and friends, he would call them beforehand and be like, "She doesn't eat tomatoes, so nothing like with tomatoes." And then we went to Romania to his parents' house, and they have been a huge inspiration to our goal of creating this modern eco village and this different way of living, because they live in the Romanian countryside in this beautiful house, which it was had a huge gardens. Dogs can run free. Have you guys ever had chickens there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so chickens could run free. I haven't seen those though, but and they are growing food enough for themselves and a lot of other people. They're self sufficient. That's the word, yeah.
Yeah, self-sufficient, totally.
Yeah. So anyhow, I came there the first time in like August or September, and my sister in law, she had given me one like rule to follow. If you want to be accepted by my parents, you have to eat whatever's on your plate and drink whatever's in your glass. That was the rule. So I came down. I was a little bit nervous because there's so many things I don't eat. Anyhow, first dinner. No, first meal, it was actually breakfast. And then they come with all of these wonderful vegetables from the garden. And amongst that, a big fat tomato. And they put it on like this cutting board. They started cutting it with this bread knife, like these thick slices. And I took a bite and I sprinkled some salt over, and I took a bite and I just came to heaven. So it turns out that what I had never liked in my life was the Norwegian tomatoes,
Plastic tomatoes.
the plastic tomatoes that are super hard to cut and they're almost white on the inside because we don't have that climate at home. And since then, I have been obsessed with tomatoes. I've been growing my tomatoes many seasons, and it's one of the things that we talk about so often. It's coming together to eat really, really good food because we love food, and we know so many people who love food. And a lot of people, when they come here or come to Romania or go grow their own food, when you eat homegrown food, you cannot go back to eating the stuff that's out of season and should never been sold in stores and does not have any nutrients nor taste. So this is how we kind of started. And every single time now that we pluck tomatoes and we eat them here, we're thinking about, oh my gosh, we're so excited when we can do this on a larger scale in the modern eco village.
And
So
there's the health aspect of it, of
that's the
course.
health, yeah, and also the
Because
mental
these
health and
these
happiness.
tomatoes, they're not sprayed with anything.
Yeah.
The soil is not sprayed with anything. And the nutrition value of a tomato that we're gonna grow in the eco village is gonna be times, I don't know how many times better than tomatoes you buy in the store.
Yeah.
We can actually measure that, but we always say that the answers to health problems are always in nature, and most likely come from food. We always try to, in modern medicine, we always try to heal the symptoms, whatever it's happening, but not the root cause of the problem. And by looking into nature, into a healthier lifestyle, nutrition movement, and all of that, I think we can find really the answers. And food is such a big, important part of this project, and that's why we're doing everything 100% natural, 100% in the same pace as nature intended. We're not going to use fertilizers to achieve super production or trees like that. With that said, we will use technology to ease the process for us that live in there. I mean,
Talk a little bit about that though, like the greenhouses and
yeah. Well,
the technology.
our very good friend Tommy and Odd Magne, they started a company called MEVTech. MEVTech is gonna develop, design, and create software and hardware for the eco village. That means, yeah, besides the obvious the solar installations and electrical wiring in the houses and all that, they will work with the gardener to automate the greenhouses to a point that yeah, anyone can manage, to say it like that. the gardener will create programs for the automation to work in a certain way. So Tommy, for example, the first time I met Tommy, we were helping him set up his website and some content for his
Where he was
website.
presenting this technology.
This exact technology was presenting how many years ago? I don't know,
Six, I
six,
think,
7 years.
5, 6, 7.
Yeah, and we got to follow him around, and I was filming the stuff that he was doing, and imagine these big greenhouses, and everything was automated by either weather control or yeah, weather conditions basically. So for example, if it's too sunny, the shades would automatically come in. If it's too cloudy, the shades will go out. If it's too dry, the sprinklers will go out, will go on automatically, and everything is based on whatever you're trying to grow in that particular zone. So everything is also zone based, and um, I mean, this kind of automation will always create optimal conditions for the vegetables to grow without using any artificial enhancements.
So it's 100% natural, but it's supported by modern technology.
Yeah, and this
Which is so
technology
cool.
is also solar driven, so it's sustainable and all of that. So yeah, that's what Tommy does, and I think having access to this technology would make things easier because you remember the Garden of Death.
My garden of death. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy growing tomatoes. It's not easy doing anything naturally.
I set up last year like 20 tomato plants and 10 cucumbers and watermelons and a whole lot of things, and I just did not manage the ratio between water and heat and sun and shadow and everything. And I'm pretty good with plants, but I just couldn't do it. So yeah, it became the garden of death.
So we're gonna get a lot of help from this technology that Tom is implementing to the gardens, and we already start taking tests of the soils, and we are planning the transition from alkaline to acidic soil, so the vegetables can grow better. And yeah, there's a lot of information of soil. Jörn, again, one of the people helping us, he's a yeah. Can we call him an environmentalist expert?
I think you're just dropping words right now.
No,
I don't know.
no, I'm not. I'm not.
Really?
Yeah, he's an environmentalist, or
If he wasn't from before, he is now.
the effects of plants into human body. So
He
he
does
runs
actually.
he runs this company called
Google it.
yeah, Skogluft. It's a Norwegian company that worked with a lot of big companies in the world, and a research that's been done over 25 years, and he measures the effects of plants on the human body, and he makes living walls into offices and houses, and we will implement
He wrote a
that.
book that was translated to, was it 100 languages and sold in 22 countries?
No, 22 languages and over 100 countries.
Okay, like that.
Yeah. Anyway, we got a lot of help from these people understanding what soil is, and how important is that for our health, and how we can grow plants the proper way, the natural way, without interfering with nature, and therefore not interfering with our body and our health. So yeah, that's the food aspect. So of course the plot is quite big now. The plots where we're building the houses and apartments, we have 290 registered plots for about 290,000 square meters, but the actual plot is over 600,000 square meters. So there's a lot of sort of free space we will use for parks, for gardens, for food forest, and we will implement, of course, permaculture. It's
Everything is permaculture.
everything is permaculture, yeah. But the concept you have for those of you that don't understand this concept, you try to make use of the space that you have. Uh, we will not have any concrete walls. We will have living walls, but then the living walls can be functional. You can have a bush there where you can pluck berries from, or trees that have fruits in them. So everything that exists in the eco village will have a function.
Yeah, and everything will be reused, so nothing will go to waste. And when you when you build something with permaculture in mind, you follow these principles where yeah, nothing will go to waste. So you're doing nature's way, but with a human touch, and it's super important to us that is being done this way. This was one of the absolute very first things that we talked about when we found out that we're going to build this. Is okay, permaculture. Let's get this down. So it's a beautiful way of doing things, of preserving as much as you can and giving back to nature, not just taking.
So with that in mind, we can move on to we can move on. We will have, of course, a special live sending only with a gardener, where the gardener
Yeah.
can explain his plan and what we can do and what we
It
cannot
would be
do.
fun to set up a live sending with the gardener and Semi, the chef, because
Totally.
when you have fresh produce, you become such an amazing chef. Like I cannot tell you, I'm not actually very good in the kitchen, but people think of me as this amazing chef because the food I make and serve always tastes really, really good. But it's only because we have fresh produce. Everything like my I can slap it to my. The other day, I served him a half a bagel with a tomato on top, like this thick slice of this big chunk of tomato, some salt, and he came to me and he thanked me for this wonderful meal. So once you become a fantastic chef if you have really good produce. So it would be very cool to put them together because it does affect
Yeah,
your taste bud and your enjoyment around food.
yeah. The main concern is, of course, health, not taste. And the restaurants in the village will reflect the health aspect
Yeah,
of
for sure.
eating healthy and eating natural and all of that. So yeah, the discussion we're going into is the apartments. A lot of people, and there was hundreds or maybe thousands of people that expressed this need to have cheaper solutions. Now we know that southern Spain it's a highly
Sought after.
sought after area, and because of that, house prices are quite expensive, and yeah, usually measured in the distance to the seafront. But
But also you can go a very, very far away from the seafront, and your ad for your overpriced house will say sea view, and there's no sea view. It's just you're selling it. So yeah.
yeah, well, yeah. In spite of all these things, we know that the house prices are usually measured by location, and
Mm.
ours are not. Because even though Planes is really central, it's 1 hour from Valencia, 50 minutes from the airport in Alicante, and basically 1 hour from any point in Costa Blanca, any beach in Costa Blanca, close to Alcoy, to a big city.
Close to Oliva.
Yeah, close to Oliva. We have our own lake there. There's a 4 kilometers wide lake right glued to our plot, where we can have sand and we can have a beach in there too, and water activities and all that. So that's why, in spite of having all of these facilities and the location being so central, we're not charging for the plot. The plot actually is almost for free in the bigger picture. So we're charging only for the houses, and the houses are built with a little profit in mind, and that profit is will be used to build the common areas that we need to function as a community. Um, so with that said, there will be the apartments that you maybe use remember from earlier.
Houses.
Yeah, the houses that you remember from earlier standings. This is the house model that Escobar drew for us. This house is approximately 160 square meters. He has his own garden, its own
Outdoor
outdoor
kitchen.
kitchen. Yeah,
Outdoor drying space. It has it's such a beautiful space. And when you live like this also, because even though we're not going to do any brick walls, your area, because you do live, it's a community, but you also have your privacy. And if you have children or animals, you can have such a free life because the entire area will be locked in so that your animals and children cannot leave the premises, which is something that's so nice.
Or your wife.
Or your wife. A lot of the houses here in Spain that we've been living in has this, and like right now we're sitting here, and sometimes you see the dogs running in the background because our property is really really big, but everything is locked in, so no one can escape anywhere, and it gives you such a sense of freedom when you're outside. But the difference is that here we have neighbors like back to back, and we have very high brick walls, which is not very healthy, neither for humans nor for permaculture and for the
Yeah, we need to preserve the ecosystem in the ground.
exactly. So this is why we will have like we will have fences, obviously, so you protect your freedom and keep your kids safe. But we're gonna have like bushes and like edible stuff, and these beautiful things. So, but yeah, it's important to notice because some people ask about, oh, what about the privacy? And we're building this with privacy in mind for those who want that. With that said, this is a community with a lot of people, and it's like Escobedo architect, he said when we went to his offices on Friday for a meeting, he said that we should almost have different websites for every single concept because it's so many different things, because different people want different things. Some people want cheaper apartments, they want to live close. Some people want huge villas, a little bit secluded. Some people want more like normal houses with a nice garden, with your nice neighbors, and yeah, and we're giving all of that.
Yeah. So the next thing we're presenting now, there are the apartments, and apartments that are not actually apartments; they're modular houses. So I'm gonna show you something. This is just keep in mind these are rough sketches, right? Uh, so as you can see here, everything is on one floor, and there are 6 units inside of each house. And these 6 units can be configured exactly the way you want them to be. So you can have one unit,
One unit is 45 square
yeah,
meters.
45 to 50, I think. Yeah,
Yeah. So you can easily live. Our first apartment was 45 or 42 square meters.
exactly.
So you can easily live there, or you can add modules. You can add another unit, and then you have 90. You can add another unit. You can add another unit. You can buy all of them and remove the middle one and put in a garden, and then you can have one place for you and one place for your parents. You can have this generation. What's it called? Generationsbolig. I forget all the time in English.
No, it's a place where families can live together.
Yeah.
But here's a representation of how 6 modules can look like. Uh, so one module can be a living room and an open kitchen. The other module can be 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, for example, or it can be one bigger bedroom and a bigger bathroom. If you have 3 of them, suddenly your options really expand right there.
You can make like a New York studio apartment where we're gonna come with fantastic solutions to like having your bed like how do you say it when you push it back into the wall, like old school New York studio apartments, and we have so many amazing opportunities, and
If,
this
if you
allows.
look if you look at this one, for example,
Yeah.
from left to right, first you have the living room and open kitchen. You have and it's extended because they removed the wall from the first module. Then you have a little bedroom with its own bathroom and connected to a washroom, for example. So you have this insane, not insane, but it's a really big living room. Like, it's humongous, and you have so much space, even though the bedroom is small. That gives the sensation of space without investing too much money in an apartment. And then you have an empty module. You can choose to have an empty module with nothing in it, so you extend your garden space. All of these modules, all of these modules have exactly the same amount of garden as they have housing. So, for example, you can purchase all 6 of them. You can have the entire house, and then you suddenly have a lot of space to organize it the way you want to, and our architect will do that for you. So every single apartment, each house will be unique, and it will be exactly the way you want it to be. And to talk a little bit prices, I believe that one module can be around 100,000 euros, a little bit more if it's only one, a little bit less if it's more modules. But all in all, I think the price for an entire house with all six modules can be cheaper than a house on an individual plot. This is also an individual plot, but as I said, is the same amount of house as the garden. So if you have six modules of 50 square meters, that's 300 square meters. You will have the same amount of garden that's private. So 300 square meters of garden that's private only for you, with a live fence around it. But then outside, you're straight to the common areas, you're straight into the gardens, straight into the parks and the common swimming pools and all of that.
You- the common swimming pool for this area, by the way, I talked to Escobedo about it, and because we haven't seen it yet, but he said if I had to choose between having my private one or going to this common one, I would not do the private one. I would only go to the common one. This is bad sales tactic for me to say this.
Yeah, you
Never mind.
see in the background there, you see our swimming pool.
Yeah.
It's got 10 or 11 meters. Belinda swims that in, yeah, 3 or 4 rows. So you can't really do laps. You can, but yeah.
It's not a swimming pool we have. It's more like a in Norwegian we have actually two words for it. We have bathing pool and swimming pool.
Yeah.
So for the houses is more bathing pools,
I
but
swim every single morning. So for me, it would definitely be better with a way larger swimming
to
pool.
go to the community
So,
ones.
yeah, so I can do laps and
Yeah.
actually train in it.
Yeah. I don't need that. I just need something to lay in, soak sun in,
Well,
dip in. But
lucky you, you will have both.
yes, because that's the beauty about this modern eco village. We are bending over backwards to try to meet everybody's wishes and criterias. Like we're two people pleasers, and we're just trying to make sure that this is something that's inclusive and not exclusive. And I am so darn proud because when Iancu and I first got together, we had absolutely no money, and for us to get on the boligmarkedet, my gosh, my English is so bad. To get on the what's the
Uh, Property market.
yeah, to get on the property market, to start owning your own house, it was so difficult. And we've told the story a bunch of times before that we got help from people to get in and to be able to buy our first home. And we always remember that, and we're so grateful for that help. And we really wanted this in the modern eco village for people to be able to get into owning your own house, even if you don't have the greatest economy. And so I think that like 100,000 or 110,000 for one apartment is one of the lowest prices that I've seen, especially for this standard in this place. And
Yeah,
it's
worth
so
mentioning
beautiful.
that the quality
Yeah,
of these houses will be equal to everything else. So
like down to
if you have a house that's worth 5 million or 100,000, the technology will be exactly the same.
yeah,
The materials, the construction materials will be exactly the same.
yeah.
No non-toxic materials, no
Everything is
EMFs,
non-toxic. Yeah,
so solar power,
yeah.
sustainable.
It's the best of
Yeah,
the best.
yeah.
Because may I remind you that everyone who's working on this project wants to live there. So it changes so many things. It is so sad to see people who are selling things or building things only for profit, how little they care about materials that are being used. They just want it to look nice so they can sell it. But nothing of that is going on here in the modern eco village, which makes it yeah, we're gonna have detailed lives about stuff like this because I just get uh, like super excited, but I cannot tell you in detail how it works.
So since this is a one-story house, uh, you can see two group of two families that are good friends. They can share one of these and have uh, two apartments next to each other, or kids and parents, or we even had, yeah, four families of friends trying to live together, messaging us about it. So of course, this is just a rough sketch right now. It's just the first renderings that we got from the architect, and it can be changed. He was also talking about 9 modules in one house, so there are possibilities to make them bigger or even smaller. Today I was talking to Vivo. They've been here looking at the plot today, and he said that he loved the modular house idea. And we were looking at the places where the apartments are gonna be, and he said, "Yeah, but I would like to this house to be independent because they don't want the big plot. They want a regular size plot, uh, and they love the modular idea where you can
Mix and match.
mix and match. Yeah, but they would like not to be connected to another house because of sounds, and they're more sound sensitive. And I said, okay, maybe that can be arranged. So we make um, only 3 units, and that can be a house, 150 square meters. It's a decent sized house. For us, it was big enough. Definitely in Norway, we had 170. It was 4 bedrooms, and we are only 2 people, so it was way too big. So depending on your needs, this can be a very cheap way to have your own house and your own plot uh, while being in the middle of the community and have access to all these common functions. Of course, people that have their own individual plots, bigger plots, they won't in that those areas. There won't be as many common pools and common gardens because these people have the space to have it on their own plot. So it will be something for everyone,
I'm
definitely.
so freaking excited. I am
Yeah.
so excited. There are so many meetings going on all the time, and everyone is just so excited to live there. And it's not going to be that long. There's a yeah, you could almost have another 4 hour meeting just explaining all the stuff that's been going on in the back. But yeah, we are. It's getting closer and closer. So
Yeah.
I'm perfect.
And those of you that wish for bigger houses and customized solutions, that's also possible. I have to remind everyone that no matter how big or how small the house will be, they will all look in the same style, using the same materials, and there will be a continuous line and a continuous flow in the village. So it will look a certain way and feel a certain way. We're not gonna compromise, no matter how much money you want to pour into your house or your project. We will not have crazy houses with totally different design that will not suit our community
With
or the
that
fun.
said, every single spot is unique because it's built to that unique place
Yeah,
in Planes. And there are many ways you can customize it so that it's going to feel and look unique, but everything is built in the same style, which is
exactly.
designed by one of the greatest architects in Spain. So it's pretty cool. And yeah,
Yeah,
he is putting his heart into this.
yeah, it's very
So
exciting.
now that we are showing some quick photos. We're not showing some many of the details, but the level of detail that goes into this, just like your everyday walking paths, where you're going to walk, what are you going to experience when you walk from A to Z, where are you going to go through, what are you going to go over, what are you going to go around. Like there's so many. It's the level of detail is insane. So we cannot wait to really go in depth. But we have poured all of the money that we have and have earned over the last few months into getting these pictures here drawn. So we are waiting as anxiously
Not
as you
only
guys.
this is probably 5% of what we spend the
Yes,
money on.
we put
There's
everything. Yeah,
lawyers and there's it's a lot.
yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, these drawings are not where the money went at all.
That was where I think the money went because this is what I think is fun.
Yeah,
Because all of the lawyer stuff, I don't even listen when you talk. I just yeah.
yeah. The project is huge, and now that we got it confirmed from both Comunidad Valenciana and 3 sets of lawyers that confirmed the time frame of the execution of the project and the paperwork and all of that. Everything is in place now, and we're really excited to start building soon. And we're gonna come up soon with more house models, a little bit bigger house models,
Yeah.
And
We're gonna update the website a lot,
yeah,
also.
and the master plan is also coming next week. That's gonna be exciting. So you can finally see how the entire village is gonna look like.
I cry every time.
Yeah, every time we go to the architect, Belinda
Yeah,
cries.
I
Yeah.
start crying because suddenly, I mean, we visualized this and we just went for it, and suddenly there's an architect who's making this turn into look like Hollywood Hills, just way better. And yeah, it's
Not really,
incredible.
no. That has nothing to do with Hollywood Hills. This is an ecological village.
But it looks beautiful.
It
It's
is
so
is
stunning. That's what I
it is
mean.
stunning
Have you
and
have you
beautiful.
ever, in all of the places we've driven around, we've been everywhere. Have you ever seen anything that nice?
No, I haven't. I haven't.
No.
And
But if you drive in
you
Hollywood
see
Hills,
one
you
house
can
that
see
is
it.
nice, or two
Yeah.
houses that are
But
nice,
you don't see
but you
like an
don't.
entire community
No,
that looks and feels like that.
no.
You see boxes that don't shouldn't belong, tiki takis, and yeah.
Yeah, the what we're doing here is different, and I really hope you see the same thing as we do. We're trying to be as transparent as possible, but yeah, she reminds me always that I have to share my ideas, not keep them in my hand, because people don't read minds. So we're trying to to be as transparent as possible. Yeah. Uh, so yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll keep you updated with the master plan next week, and a lot of interesting people coming to have a chat. Lauren will come and have a chat about non-toxic materials and how toxic materials affect our health. The gardener, the Semi, with the chef, will come on and talk about that part, and yeah,
And
it's
the
just
website with all of the pictures are also coming, so you can sit and have a little look see.
yeah. Have a great day, and see you soon.